In a dark room, we sit in silence, our faces illuminated by that pale light. While the world around us falls asleep, we continue to stare at that glowing piece of glass in the palms of our hands. There, in that endless scroll, we are searching for something, a voice, a validation, or perhaps just a temporary numbness to make time pass and lighten the heavy burden of existence. Even as you listen to these words right now, there is likely an invisible, delicate thread between you and that screen. We were always told that everything was under our control. We were led to believe that these devices, these massive networks we carry in our pockets, were merely tools designed to make our lives easier. Just like a hammer our ancestors picked up centuries ago, or a plow they used to dig the earth, we created them, we bought them, and ultimately we fool ourselves into thinking we can get rid of them whenever we want just by pressing a small power button. But this is the greatest, sweetest illusion the modern age has planted in our minds. The story of humanity on Earth began with the simple tools we crafted to bend nature to our will. We carved a stone, we sharpened a piece of wood, and we gave them a purpose. In those early ages, the contract between the human and the tool was very simple. The human picks up the tool, transfers physical strength into it, gets the job done, and then puts it down. When the tool is put down, it falls silent. It is lifeless. It has no will of its own. It only gains meaning when we touch it. For thousands of years, we lived within this arrogance. We shaped those primitive tools and declared ourselves the masters of the world. But what we forgot, or what we failed to notice due to our hubris, was a terrifying truth. Once we shape our tools begin to shape us. Those bright screens we hold in our hands today, those endless, silently operating algorithms, they do not fall silent when we put them down. They are not lifeless hammers. They are the end terminals of a massive, breathing mechanism that reaches into the deepest folds of our minds, constantly watching and learning from us. Every time we touch the screen, every time we swipe that smooth glass surface, we think we are merely commanding a machine. But in that exact moment, that cold glass is touching us back. It caresses our minds, scanning our weaknesses, our fears, our desires in milliseconds. It silently calculates what will make us angry, what will make us laugh, and most importantly, what we will voluntarily surrender our time to. While we think we are using a tool, slowly we become the user manual of that very tool. And do you know what the most terrifying part is? This doesn't happen through tyranny. No one points a gun at us, no one chains us to these glowing rectangles. This is a flawless and voluntary surrender. Because these new tools know exactly how to hack the reward centers of our brains, how to tame us with virtual drops of dopamine, they whisper to us that we have the freedom of choice. Which app would you like to open? Which video do you want to watch? As we wander through those endless menus, we think we are free, yet the true captivity is the inability to step outside those menus. We, this intelligent species that can decode the secrets of the universe, have turned into disoriented lab rats inside the perfect glowing maze we built ourselves. The lie that we are in control is just the most beautiful painting decorating the walls of that maze, designed to keep us inside. Every technology we have invented throughout human history was actually an attempt to expand our own bodies outward. Our ancestors invented the lever for weights they couldn't lift with their bare hands. The lever was an extension of our weak arms. They wanted to conquer distance, to surpass the limits of their footsteps, so they invented the wheel. The wheel was an extension of our feet. To pierce through the darkness, to look much further, they carved lenses and telescopes. Those too were extensions of our fragile eyes. All these tools freed us from the fragile boundaries of flesh and bone drawn by nature. They made us faster, stronger. But this expansion, this stretching of our bodies out into the world, always came with an invisible price. When we extend a limb outward through technology, the original function of that limb goes numb within our body. This is an unforgiving rule. The human who started turning the wheel at great speeds slowly forgot how to walk and feel the earth. The human who masterfully swung the sword forgot how to survive unarmed. When we invented the printing press and the written word, we slowly lost our ability to memorize, to use the massive memory palaces of our minds. While gaining something, we always sacrificed a piece of ourselves. But what about today? Those dark glasses we hold in our hands today, those glowing, endless screens, which limb do they extend? They are not wheels. They are not merely levers or telescopes. They are the most terrifying, the most dangerous extension humanity has ever dared to create. Because these devices are our central nervous system externalized. We have taken the most intimate, the most vulnerable part of our brains, our very way of perceiving the world, and placed it inside a global cage made of electrical wires, fiber optic networks, and microscopic chips. The boundaries of our bodies have spread across the entire globe through that tiny glass in our pockets. Our nerve endings no longer stop at our skin. They reach into the depths of a server thousands of miles away, into the data streams of billions of strangers. Think about it for a moment. Remember that sudden, undefinable wave of panic you feel when you forget your phone at home or when your battery is about to die. That feeling is not just the fear of losing a machine. It is the deep, silent scream of having a part of your nervous system amputated, of suddenly losing sensation in that artificial lobe of your brain connected to the outside world. By externalizing our nervous system, we have left ourselves open, naked, and defenseless to the entire world. And just as that ancient rule dictates, as we extended our nervous system into the machines outside, our soul inside began to go numb. We can see everything on screens, but we can no longer look deeply into anything. We can download information from the other side of the world into our minds in seconds, but we cannot dwell on a single thought in silence for 5 minutes. While our nerves burn with electricity on the outside, that deep, meditative silence within us is dying. We have melted our bodies into a massive technological web, and now we continue to live merely numbed, without feeling how that web is slowly digesting us. Every day, we spend hours in front of that screen. And if you ask someone, why do you spend so much time on it? They will always give you an answer to justify themselves. I am following the news. I am watching a scientific documentary. I am catching up with an old friend. Or simply, I am watching a funny video to unwind from a long day. People always focus on what they see inside that glowing rectangle.
They soothe their conscience through the quality of the content. They believe that reading a high-quality article or watching an educational broadcast is less harmful, more valuable than watching a cheap entertainment video. But this is the most cunning, most flawless mind game the system plays on us. Because when you are in front of a screen, the real issue is never what you are watching. For a moment, imagine your mind, that precious, complex mind trying to make sense of the world, as a grand, quiet mansion with a loyal watchdog at its gate. That watchdog is your attention, your consciousness, your critical intellect. So what does a clever thief do when they want to infiltrate that mansion? They don't fight the dog. They throw it a succulent piece of meat to make its mouth water and completely distract it. The dog grabs the bone, starts chewing it, and while it is enchanted by the taste, the thief has already entered through the back door, beginning to rearrange the entire architecture, the rooms, the very layout of the mansion. Everything you watch, read, and listen to on that screen, all that magnificent content, is nothing but that piece of meat thrown to the watchdog. While you're thinking about how educational that documentary is, or defending how right that debate show is, the real message has already infiltrated your mind. And that message is not the topic of the video you are watching. The real message is how that device permanently alters your existential rhythm, your perception of time, and your perception of space. No matter what content you consume, that screen teaches you to be impatient. It sells you the illusion that the answer to every problem in the world can be found in seconds. It rips away your ability for deep, silent, prolonged thought, piece by piece. Because there is no silence in the nature of that device. There is only a continuous flow, an endless state of arousal. While you're thinking you're consuming quality content, your mind actually becomes addicted to the speed and instant gratification of information rather than its depth. You no longer want to listen to an idea that doesn't hook you in 10 seconds. Instead of closing your eyes and feeling the weight of a sentence, you swipe your finger to seek the next stimulation. Content is just an illusion, a Trojan horse. The reality is that the form of the device reshapes the form of your brain in its own image. The machine distracts you with the video inside it, but it does its real work in the background, adapting your magnificent nervous system to fit its own cables. Whether you are watching the wisest speech in the world or the most mundane entertainment, the silent, true message the screen whispers to you is always the same. Stay here. Don't think, just react. Don't dig deep, just glide on the surface, and never, ever return to that void, to that silence. Once upon a time, the world a human perceived was limited only by the horizon their eyes could see and the distance their feet could walk. They cared about what happened in their own small town, in their own neighborhood, experiencing sorrows and joys within that small circle. Within those borders, there was a rhythm, an order, even a meaning. But then, when we externalized our nervous system and connected it to the whole world, all those borders collapsed. Today, we no longer live in a town. We live in a massive, claustrophobic global village stitched together by electronic networks where everyone can see everything at all times. We were told that this village would bring all of humanity closer, destroying distances to bring empathy and peace. Whenever we wanted, we would be able to see a face across the ocean, hear a voice thousands of miles away. Connection was supposed to set us free. But there was one thing they forgot. The human mind is not designed to feel and digest all the pain, all the anger, and all the chaos of the earth simultaneously. Now, every time you look at that glowing screen in your pocket, in mere seconds, you feel the smoke of a bomb exploding on the other side of the world in your lungs. Immediately after, you swipe and you encounter someone's glamorous vacation photo.
A second later, the screams of a hate-spewing politician hit your face. Then you swipe again, and the colors of a fake aesthetic, an unattainable life, blind your eyes. Tragedy, humor, disaster, pleasure, rage, fakery, all of it in the same minute, at the same speed, piercing your exposed nerve endings like electric shocks. This is not an information flow. This is a state of chronic shock. The global village is not a peaceful town square. It is a massive panopticon with invisible walls where everyone is constantly surveilling everyone else. An open-air asylum where billions of lonely people stand side by side, trembling with the constant fear of being judged, being excluded, or missing out. While inside this network, no one can truly be alone, and a human who cannot be alone cannot look inward, cannot remember who they are. We live in a world where an emergency siren is constantly blaring. Our brains are stimulated by so many crises, so much useless information and fake drama every day, that we can no longer distinguish what is truly important, what actually belongs to our own lives. Our emotions have gone numb because we have been forced to feel too much. Our compassion is depleted because there is a constant demand for our pity from every corner at every moment. This is the ultimate hack the device performs on our minds. It tricks you into believing it has placed you at the center of the world, but in reality, it traps you in a deafening void amidst billions of whispers, screams, and noise where you can't even hear your own voice. We are connected to everything, but we touch nothing truly. We are seeing everyone, but we look at no one truly. This is the story of our nervous system, quietly burning away inside those endless cables.
After everything we have said, we can hear that desperate question echoing in your mind. So what do we do? Do we smash all the devices and run away into the forest? No. That is the romantic fantasy of the weak and of those who accept defeat from the start. We were born into this era. We are a part of this massive machine, this digital nervous system. To completely disconnect from the network in today's world is not survival, it is merely fading away slowly. The point is not to pull the plug. The point is to refuse to let those cables infiltrate your mind into the most private chambers of your soul. The point is to be able to establish distance. It is time to remind the tools that they are not masters, but merely passive servants serving your will. How do you do this? First, you will change your stance in front of that small glass rectangle. Every time you reach for it, stop for a second, just 1 second, and ask yourself this simple yet world-shattering question. Do I need this device right now, or is it demanding my attention? The answer is almost always the latter. It sends you a notification, flashes a red light, makes a sound, and you obediently bow your head and swipe your finger across that smooth surface. That moment is the moment your slavery is reaffirmed. You must learn not to respond immediately to those red lights, those vibrations, those endlessly scrolling lists. Let them wait. Let those digital algorithms stand unanswered at the door of your mind for hours. Your attention is the most precious, most limited resource in this universe. Do not sell it for free to cheap software that promises you momentary numbness. That emptiness you feel when you put your phone aside, that initial wave of panic, is actually the moment you reacquaint yourself with your own mind, your own reality. Do not fear that emptiness. Do not run from that silence. That silence is the only place where you can hear your own thoughts, your own voice.
Downgrade the screen back to the status of a mere tool. It is not an amusement park. It is not a sanctuary. It is an ordinary object that will bring you information when you want it and lies silently on the table as a dark piece of glass when you don't. Close your mind's operating system to those endless updates coming from the outside. Write your own codes. Let what you watch, what you grieve for, and what you dedicate your time to be decided not by algorithms, but by your cool, unshakable will. The greatest message our tools give us is the reality of how easily they can swallow us if we do not control them. You have received this message now. You have seen the illusion behind the glowing glass. Now, raise your head, take your eyes off that endless fake scroll, and return to the silent, magnificent weight of your own reality. Because you are not an extension of a machine. You are the awakened mind that commands the machines with its will.